Hello, everybody out there in YouTube. We are the Middle-Aged Guys, and we are coming today bullshitting about Microsoft. The Xbox One X, formerly known as Project Scorpio, hit the retail shelves last week. And, you know, according to Microsoft, it's their best-selling, quickest-selling console that they put out so far. We still don't have any solid sales numbers. So that kind of makes their claim suspect, just to be honest. But, you know, in regards to that, one of the things that Microsoft has to sit there and deal with is, you know, there's a lot of things that they have to deal with. But I think I got ahead of myself. Let me get the introductions out of the way. I'm the Reverend.
The thing here. I'm Gray Mouse One.
Yeah, Microsoft, like I said, they've got a new console out. Okay. And the biggest criticism that's been levied on Microsoft over the last few years, even from the Xbox faithful, especially the folks who are looking for a reason to own an Xbox console, is lack of exclusive titles for the platform. Now, according to Phil Spencer, he had a huge, there's an interview that he did with Bloomberg Technology, and one of the things that he was talking about and that a lot of people went ahead and they latched onto last week was that he was saying that, look, since we have the new Xbox One X console out, we know that people are asking for exclusive content and everything else. And he says, you know, we're going to be turning our plans around, and we're going to start concentrating on developing new in-house games and everything. And to that point, they said that they were going to start acquiring studios to do so. Okay, and that they were going to start investing more money into developing in-house exclusive titles. Guys, I know you have thoughts on this. Floor is open.
Haven't we heard this broken record before?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm dead serious about that fucking question because, again, how long has it been? Okay, look, this is Microsoft's third console, well, technically fourth console. You mean to tell me that they haven't gotten the hint by now? I mean, look at the original Xbox and how many, okay, with Microsoft Studios and the exclusive titles they had on that. And the 360 pretty much followed suit for its earlier tenure. Then that died out with the 360's later tenure, and then the Xbox One has a big question mark saying, well, how do we, you know, bring in new franchises? And I thought that they were going to do that scalebound, and next thing you know, that went the way of the dodo. Gray Mouse, before I take too much time, what are your thoughts?
No confidence. Simply because...
What, you're voting them out of office?
Yep. Simply because they have a track record of closing game studios.
They're catching up to EA at this point.
And Scalebound comes to mind, and so does Fable Legends come to mind. Need I go on here? I'm just saying. And I'm actually surprised Cuphead came out, to be quite honest. But no, in all honesty, I guess this could be good news, Microsoft. But what I don't understand is, why did it take Microsoft this damn long in the console cycle to realize that they need first-party publishers and first-party games to make their system work? I think us three have sat here on a video saying this, that can Xbox One survive without console exclusives? I think that was one of our videos, and if it is, we'll put it up there on the on the thing.
It was.
So why did it take them this long to decide that maybe we should open up new instead of closing companies studios, maybe we should open them up. And you know what? What's interesting, one thing that you opened up with it at the top of the video was that we don't know Microsoft's numbers. And if I'm being devil's advocate and I'm being cynical here, maybe there's a reason why we don't know these numbers, and maybe this is the reason why this is big. It shouldn't even be big news. Why is it big news that Microsoft wants to open up first-party studios? That should not even be good. That should be, well, duh. You know, that should be a common sense thing. But apparently Microsoft, it takes a while for common sense to seek in.
What if this would have happened? What if the Switch would have released itself and Nintendo actually sat down and said, okay, you know, we're pleased to announce that, you know, that we're going to be making The Legend of Zelda and a Super Mario for this thing. Well, why didn't the fuck you didn't have it, you know, in development already? That should have been a duh. What do you mean?
And that's where I'm coming from. I mean, I do have a huge list of Xbox One X or Xbox One games over here that I haven't even touched. But most of those are third-party games.
Now, wait a minute. That's due to time constraints, right?
True. But those are mostly third-party games that are multi-plats. There's hardly ever, I mean, there's Gears of War, Halo, yeah, whatever. But this, I don't see why this,
well, think about how beautiful Halo 6 is going to look when it's unveiled at E3 2018 in 4K.
It's just for something that should have been already there and already thought of by the big three. This to me is no big news to me. It's like it's about fucking time, and I just don't understand their thought process. Why did it take? When did Xbox One come out?
2014.
2013.
2014.
2014. Why did it take that long for them to realize? Oh well, maybe we do. Maybe Halo and Gears of War and Forza can't push this machine out the store. Maybe we should create new studios. Why is it 3 years later? Why now? It's mind-numbingly stupid for them to be announcing this as big news. Oh, guys, yeah, guess what, guys? We got a new Xbox One X. It can do 4,000. It's the greatest. It's the greatest console ever existing. The biggest, the best. But where's your games? Don't worry about that, man. No. Just buy that. Don't worry about that shit. Nah, don't worry about that shit. Don't worry about that. We got Halo.
Quick question. Do you want to be disappointed even more? I asked it seriously, okay? Because the thing is that here's the thing, all right? Obviously, with the interview with Bloomberg and everything else, they said, hey, look, we've got this Xbox One X here that's been brought to the forefront and everything, and we need to supply new content. So we're going to go out of our way, and we're going to start acquiring new studios, maybe even creating new studios to create these brand new first-party published games, okay? And the thing about it is that the one thing that's kind of kept Microsoft kind of, at least their games division afloat, the Xbox games division afloat, is that fact that
Bill Gates money.
Even though the hardware sales have not been impressive, especially in comparison to the competition, the software and service revenue, as far as like digital services and stuff like that, grew over 20%. All right, just over the last fucking quarter. Okay, and it's been on up. It's been on an upward climb ever since the launch of the console.
You're right.
Okay?
I mean, you can't cough at that. You can't laugh at that. You're
okay. Yeah. But like I said, that's just that kind of answers one of the things is that might say why they weren't focused so much onto those games. Like I said before I start into this section, are you ready to be disappointed? Reason being is that in an interview with the Wall Street Journal, Phil Spencer himself said that we're going to go ahead. we're interested in buying new studios, creating new development studios. But in a little blurb, he was like, but you know, some of these games may not necessarily be exclusive to the Xbox or Windows. Indicating that no Microsoft first-party games are not going to go on the fucking PlayStation. All right, let's just say that right now. However, they are also entertaining the thought of porting out first-party games to mobile platforms. Your phones, your iPads, your Android tablets, and other things like that.
So wait, there's going to be a Master Chief run?
Quite possibly. Quite possibly, yeah.
Run and gun.
All right, let's be honest here. Do you think the way Microsoft has been running their studios, do you think if they didn't have the money that Microsoft in itself has, do you think any other company could stay afloat? Your silence is golden here. I think if Microsoft is Microsoft, I'm just saying you can't forget that Microsoft has the money to make blunders and more blunders and more blunders and more blunders and still stay afloat. But if Sony did half the shit that Nintendo or that freaking Microsoft did, there's no way in hell Sony would stay afloat.
Sony used to be up high, and they started making blunder after blunder with their TVs, the mini discs,
cameras.
Yeah.
Well, generally speaking, when it comes,
they weren't high as Microsoft.
Well, the reason why I'm saying this, is because it kind of goes along with what we're saying here, is that Microsoft can afford to make these mistakes, but they're making all these mistakes. It's just.
They're only making mistakes within gaming. Fuck them for that.
Yeah. I mean, well, does Microsoft need Microsoft Studios, gaming studios to survive? No. Well, does Microsoft need, or does Microsoft gaming studios need Microsoft to survive? Yes. That's the difference. Well,
let's just put it this way. Realistically, if we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove any sort of other industries that these parent companies are tied up with, with, like I said, Sony's tied up in movies, electronics, and everything else. Microsoft, obviously, home software and personal computers and personal computing devices worldwide, and all of that. If we were to remove them from all of that and we're just going ahead and we're dealing with this as a position within the industry, history has shown that first-party publishers, console manufacturers, if they have a successful console, that usually will take them 1 or 2 generations of utter failure before they disappear off the map.
You know what?
Generally speaking.
I really hate that 3-year rule. We keep throwing that out there. I mean, what was Sega's third console?
The Saturn. Yeah.
Exactly. That didn't do too well.
Well, so that third. Wait, did Panasonic make it to a third? Did Philips make it to a third? They didn't even make it to a second.
No. Yeah, majority of the companies that even enter the race don't even make it past their initial generation.
Right.
But generally speaking, like I said, for most game companies, most first-party publishers who actually enter in and successfully establish a hardware run for a generation. Majority of them, if they see any sort of success, it usually takes them about 1 or 2 generations to go ahead and to completely erase their presence from being a console manufacturer. Okay, because the thing is that as much as I love the Dreamcast, that fucking thing only sold 16 million units worldwide during its whole fucking release, and they quickly aborted that shit. It wasn't just abandoned. It was murdered before Sega went ahead and they pulled the eject button on it. Okay, let's just say that.
Well, you know what though? I mean, we've been negative to Microsoft. I mean, there is a caveat to this. finally Microsoft is starting to realize that maybe we do need first-party publishing, first-party developing studios to push this along. And what better way to do that with the Xbox One X? I mean, I want to see them succeed. I really do. I want to see them succeed. And I just feel that Microsoft is putting all their eggs into the basket with this 4K gaming. I don't know if that's going to catch on as much as what they're anticipating. I mean, that was what the whole Xbox One X is about, is the 4K gaming. That's one thing that was the first thing out of their mouths when they
correction. It was about, if I remember originally what they announced, it was about uncompromised 4K gaming, and their whole thing was 4K at 60 frames per second. Okay, correct. That everything was going to be completely high fidelity, HDR capable, and all of that. Let's just forget the fact that Destiny 2 is out and it only runs at 30 fucking frames. Yes, you know who I'm talking about. All right.
I mean, that Destiny 2 is a different story. I mean, because when you start getting into multiplayer, you can't. Anyway, but like single player games, that should be 4K on the Xbox One X. There's no excuse for that because you're not pinging, you're not peer to peering to anybody. So anyway, I really hope that Microsoft hits it out of the park. I mean, I really do. I really hope that they can come out of this. I mean, because the whole Xbox One and the Kinect and all that shit and the launch debacle, I mean, they need to come out of that. They need to come out. They need to push these consoles. And the only way I see them to push those consoles is to provide, first-party games other than Halo, Forza, and freaking Gears of War. They need to come up with scale-bound, I mean, Cuphead was a good start. Everybody, that was widely received, critically acclaimed received. Everybody likes that. Cuphead's good.
I even thought that
you can get that on Steam.
Well, I mean, for one, I wonder what the Japan numbers are going to be for the Xbox One X.
Japan?
Write that up.
Wait,
what?
That's my point.
What?
No.
But I have experienced that in a Japanese house, there's not much room for a freaking big ass brick underneath your TV. I'm just saying.
Wait a minute. PS3s were there?
Yeah, they doubled the space heaters.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, but yeah, let's go ahead and let's wrap this one up, because the thing is that I'm going to play. I'm not play devil's advocate, but I'm going to give props to Microsoft to a point. All right. Yes, Phil Spencer, I love the fact that you're recognizing the need for first-party content. All right, you're recognizing the need for exclusive content. I still think it sounds like he's kind of in the midst of still battling for position and control with other folks inside of the boardroom, or the other guys who sit there and co-head the Microsoft game studios in the Xbox division around them, or other corporate people above them. Because the whole thing about, like, hey, look, if we're going to invest in new studios that are going to be making shit exclusive for us, why don't we go ahead and have them port that shit out to fucking mobile games also? And that just sounds like a total fucking boardroom CEO know-nothing move, all right? It really does, all right? It sounds like they're fishing for money there, okay? I don't blame them for that either. But I really, the thing about it is that, look, for as negative as we are, okay, we all know that, look, when it comes to this whole thing, this is one of those situations where if Microsoft does well, a rising tide, raises all boats, okay? When Sony does well, when Nintendo does well, when Microsoft does well, it causes the other first-party companies to go ahead and step up their fucking game, okay? Mm-hmm. If they have no reason to step up their game, they have no reason to do anything different or even do better than what they did before.
In other words, you get the WWE.
Yeah, Exactly. All right. That's, you know, and if you really want to go ahead and see that in depth, I check out the themes channel. He's put shit up every week to go ahead and he explains that in depth. All right.
Okay. Here's the thing. For my final word on it. Yeah. Phil Spencer, Microsoft, okay, by bare mentioning this, okay, fine. But they've been mentioning it and mentioning it. They do it every fucking E3. This is what I'm like, okay, look, I'm going to take it with, once again, a grain of salt. Because, again, you've been doing this for years. Oh.
They're all talk.
Okay, so basically, you're talking about Halo 6 at this point. That's all you're talking about. And you're going to have the Halo 6 and native 4K, and it's going to be announced at E3 2018. That's the underline that I see. That's the underline that I hear, and I guarantee, well, I can't guarantee, but that's my fucking prediction that that's going to fucking happen, and that's what they're talking about. Because if, and I will completely grant this, if titles start coming out first party, I will fucking eat my fucking words. And I will go, hell yeah. This is what I'm talking about. Get that shit, buy that shit. These games are good, finally. And then next thing you know, Sony will step up their game, and Nintendo will step up their game even more, just as the Reverend said.
Great Mouse, any final thoughts on this one, sir?
I think it's just lip service from Phil Spencer, to be quite honest with you. Because all they do is talk. I'm sorry. All they fucking do is talk. They put nothing forward. Instead, they fucking close game studios. They have so many weapons. They have freaking Crimson Skies. You know, they got Fusion Frenzy. They get all these games that we talk about on our channel all the fucking time. All these weapons that they choose not to use. And you know what? If
Kung Fu Chaos.
If Phil Spencer decides that that this is the way to go, I'm all for it. Let's do it. Open up some studios. Let's see some new games, and then I'll change my mind. But at this point right now, I have no reason to buy an Xbox One X. I really don't.
And, to be completely honest with this, let's say they do go ahead and they acquire half a dozen brand new studios by the end of this year, by the end of this fiscal year. Realistically, if they're going to be putting out a true AAA title, it's going to be in development anywhere from 18 to 36 months. So we're going to see the fruits of this of these efforts in 2019, 2020. So
you know what? You have studios like Rare. Fucking dig deep and look into their history, and there you go.
They're called Rare for a reason.
I'm just saying, but no, I think you hit the nail on the head, Reverend, when you said that. We're not going to see we're not going to see the fruition of this until 2021.
Because as Reverend alluded to before, why haven't you been developing shit by now? Ever since you even been working on the Project Scorpio, that doesn't make
Demo 3 will come out before we see anything coming out of this decision.
But that's really, at this point, that's really kind of retreading old ground that we've mentioned in other videos before. So I think this is a good place right here to go ahead and wrap this particular video up. All right. Despite all of our views on this, all of our videos, like we say in every video, we really want to know what you think about it. Is Phil Spencer, is he making the right move? Is his announcement or his slip of the tongue to sit there and say that some of these games that they're hoping to develop aren't going to be showing up as exclusive titles, particularly for the Xbox One X? Is that a good idea? Are we missing something? Is there something that we haven't covered? You can let us know by leaving us a comment below. All right. Whether it be positive, negative, or whatever. If you feel we're worth it, go ahead and click on that like button, or hit the unlike button if you care to. And if you really like what we're doing here with our videos and you like our subject matter, you want to stick around, you want to know whenever we go ahead and put new things out, click subscribe, turn on those notifications, and you'll know whenever we go ahead and drop a brand new video. All right. So with all of that, all of our bullshit about Microsoft finally coming around to saying that, hey, maybe this first party exclusive content thing is a good thing. Yeah, ends right here. I don't want to beat that horse anymore. I'm the Reverend.
The theme here.
And I'm Grey Mouse One.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense, logic, and gaming. Hey, wait. So we're going to be able to play, you know, Master Chief and Halo on this now. Is that going to happen? Is the Gears going to happen? I don't know. Forza. Who knows? Credits.
All I know is that I'm looking forward to playing Crackdown Go.